Blast off.
Blast off.
What a cute picture of these three. Should we do it?
Yeah.
Like also?
Let's do it.
I feel like we should be eating sandwiches then.
Who's
Really cute.
different types of
I've never. This is like people do this all the time. I've never done it. This is the first time I've ever done this in the trend of heart with your hand.
Was that what it is? I thought.
Well,
how about that?
You didn't know it was a heart, Kevin?
I thought it was. I thought it was gambling. I thought it was like a spade and then a heart and then.
What do they do?
No. It's a heart. Roll the credit.
It's been a long, exciting day. Your troubles just won't go away. One thing that gets you through these is watching cheesy holiday movies. You think that you're above them, but you know that you love them. So get ready to listen. Now here comes Kevin and Kristin. Oh yeah.
There he is.
Love you, Ari.
So suave. So suave.
Well, were you guys wearing those hats before? That should have been the opening because I would have been.
What are you talking about?
I might have just ended the recording right there and not participated.
What are you saying, huh? Go. Bird.
Listen, this is just us taunting Julie Sherman Wolf. That's all.
That's exactly what it is.
That's fine.
We're coming for you, Wolf. We're coming.
I emailed her smack talking. Welcome to Remark. I am one of your hosts, Kevin Reagan.
I'm one of the other hosts, Chris Finger, and this.
I am a host and controller of all video and audio things.
Mike.
My name's Mike. You can't see my name. It's obstructed by the beautiful Lacey, everybody.
Ooh.
Yes, this episode is very Lacey. Dare I say?
Boom, boom, boom. Can I do a big shout out? I see Kevin, you're wearing our swag. Mike just looks dapper. I don't know if you see what I'm wearing.
Oh,
but I'm wearing my new sweet swag from Romance University, otherwise known as Benjamin Ayres, friend of the show's new swag company.
This is our name drop episode. That's all we're gonna do.
All of our friends.
I have a sweatshirt, I have a pin, and this T-shirt.
I love it. Looks good, man.
Thank you.
Solid.
Thank you so much.
Did you
Can
win
you believe
one?
we watched 3 more of these?
No, I can't. Listen,
What?
3 of them were really, really good. Just not.
You mean out of 6?
So yeah, we are talking about the new Wedding Veil trilogy that aired throughout January, starting on January 7th.
Wait, you mean you of course mean Love You, Ari, Kevin. Love You. Stay on brand. Stay on brand.
Yeah, technically, Love You, Ari isn't until we get to February. Yeah,
I don't know, man. I think they start it. I think it's January, February.
I need someone to clear that up then, because all of their information online right now is saying it for February. So maybe they've just moved over and they're ignoring this weekend. They're like, we don't care about
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, we'll talk about next week.
We just like when you're wrong. Please keep going.
Well, listen, I'm going to be pronouncing a lot of names, so that's going to happen. So the first movie that we watched was The Wedding Veil Expectations, which is the 4th movie in the Wedding Veil saga, but the first movie in trilogy. Everyone got me? Everyone with me?
Yeah.
This movie, Avery and Peter try to keep the romance alive while renovating an old house and juggling work, but everything takes on a new perspective when Avery has a surprise for Peter. This one is starring Lacey Chabert.
Lacey Chabert.
I'll wait for the photo. There it is. Kevin McGarry and his Boston accent. Oh, hello.
Much better on the Boston accent, but we'll get there.
Better. Hey, listen, by the time they get to the next trilogy, it's going to be perfect. And then the ladies, Autumn Reeser and Alison Sweeney, they make an appearance. That's the moment they make their first appearance.
That's the moment right there. Big moment.
And Fiona Vroom. I wanted to throw her out there. There was no photos of her anywhere. And I also feel like I'm not gonna say they did her dirty, but they don't have anything online, any photos from this movie, and they really didn't use her that well in the film. So
she's lovely.
Yeah, she's awesome. She's one of our faves, and I want to see her lead.
She's the assistant. She's the assistant that needs to find someone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The next one.
Oh yeah. So real fast, this one, and this is important. I want to talk about this. This one was directed by Peter Benson, who also directed Sweet Carolina, Santa's Stakeout, and When I Think of Christmas. He was also the bad auditioner in When I Think of Christmas, if you recall that from this.
Yes. So he's directed Lacey 3 times now then.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. And I want to talk this real quickly, and we will hit this every movie. Let's talk the writers real fast. We obviously have Judith Berg and Sandra Berg, who are, of course, sisters.
Oh, sister.
There it is. Kristin, I'm never going to let you down on that. Don't you worry. The teleplay for this was written by Karen Berger. And of course, this is all from the novel There Goes the Bride by Laurie Wilde.
I'm sorry. This entire series has been based off of a book.
Yeah. Come on, Chris. Up your library card. Yeah. It's like The Godfather, it's like.
Wait, is it a series though? Or are there like 6 books?
No.
It's just one.
Just the one. Yeah,
got it.
Like I said, it's like the Godfather 1 and 2 both came from the original Godfather book. So,
did we know this was a book when we watched the first 3?
I don't recall.
I was like, this is new information.
Yeah. I don't think all of this story now is the book. I think it's just the original story,
initial
from the book, the veil, and the veil continues to do its magic. Guys, thoughts? What do you want to talk about this one?
I didn't know we were going to watch Money Pit. I didn't know we were watching the Tom Hanks classic Money Pit, but I will say I kind of wish they played a little bit more into the shenanigans of fixing up the house instead of just being straight up a bummer about it. Yeah.
This is not a fixer-upper house, by the way. This is like a fixer-upper mansion. Like when your estate needs to be. It's what?
It's crazy.
It was. I have some relatives that had a similar style of old historic house, and there were a lot of things that came up, and that became a joke. You know what I mean? But it almost felt like each one of the moments in this movie was like shoehorned in of like, oh, by the way, in case you forgot, now there's like, and it was a random, I felt like that actor was just like making things up. Like, oh, now there's a crack in like the sarcophagus or whatever. And you're like, what? Sure.
There definitely was a weird, like there was a lot of wealth being very haphazardly tossed around to the point where it's kind of funny, but it's also kind of like people are struggling, like for real, that are watching these movies, and it's an escape. So when you can run out and buy a minivan to cover a lie, it's a little tough to swallow.
It was talk about an ongoing bit. Like us as dumb comedians are always like, all right, I'm going to follow this bit through. Lacey followed it through.
Oh yeah. So.
Do you have more minivan pictures, or can I comment?
I've got.
Would you like? Let me blow this one up for the fans. There we go. Look at that series.
Why is it on the beach?
Why is it
on the beach?
Is this isn't the minivan from the movie?
No. That's what they drove to Greece. Spoiler. It's
God. Oh no. No, I haven't finished the book yet.
Do you want to? There's a huge elephant in the room through this entire trilogy. Do we want to kind of talk about it? Because it starts.
Are you just talking about this?
That's the one. And when I say elephant, I don't mean I'm not implying. I'm just saying, the unspoken.
The funny thing is, in the movie Mean Girls that stars Lacey Chabert, they call the teacher a pusher. She's a pusher.
Yes.
And I feel like, like they call Tina Fey that because she's like trying to push her to do good, but they make it into drugs. Avery is a pusher of pregnancy.
Yeah.
She is a pregnant pusher and not a fan. I feel real bad, but I don't know, one of 10 women or 10 folks that can have a baby that never wants one. and would love to have that represented in a movie.
Well, maybe the next one, but definitely not this one. We'll see what happens. Yeah, this one's super pregnancy all the time. And it was one of the things that kind of drove me crazy because Avery wants to tell Peter in the most perfect way possible. Right. And it's just, that's not how it works. Like that's life
it's not. And that's what they learn, Kevin. And I think that's the kind of thing that I did enjoy about it because Peter was doing finding his own type of like he needs perfection. She needs perfection in telling him the baby. He wants it in fixing up this house because that's how he's showing his love at this point.
He's also got the teaching, the art teaching thing carried over from the last trilogy.
Yes. So I think that was what was kind of nice is they were both so caught up in being perfect that neither of them were actually paying attention to the other one to realize neither of them cared. And then they finally obviously came to that moment. Yeah. But I did take a poll on the Twitter and I said, whose partner has left them a rose on their pillow? And I want to say 100% of the people said never.
Yeah, I feel like that was like something that let's say it was a tradition or, that you did every birthday or every anniversary and then you miss one, then that's a real life situation. But every morning is super creepy. I feel like,
I mean, my cat leaves me vomit sometimes. And that's nice.
Yeah. Roses also have a very specific smell. And I swear they're only grown to cover the smell of bodies. That's it. That's the point of a rose. So like all those roses, it must have been putrid.
He was probably preparing for her death.
Whoa, that's dark. That's
just became a curious caterer. Wedding Veil Murders.
Well, you bring up Wedding Veil Murders. Like this Wedding Veil, it does feel like it's almost a curse, not like this gift or whatever, the magical enchantment. Like, and we'll get to it in the next film.
Don't forget the lace onesie that I thought was gonna make its way through, and it didn't. Yeah. But so then it was also, I was like, oh God, are we gonna like force everybody to have babies through magic? Like now?
That's what was happening basically.
Yeah. Oh, this is where Chris. If I knew we were going this direction, this is where we need the kid with the red eyes.
Like they're just making demon babies. Yeah.
That's how about just this kid with not that kid. This kid with the red hair right there. There he is.
Yeah, so
he's upset. He's upset with babies.
This is Mason Sylvester, and I wrote in my notes, Mason Sylvester hates strong women. The actor is this character. He butts heads with Avery over nothing.
Nothing.
Like, it's a museum, and he's like, we need to get rid of this and get in like Warhols and stuff. It's like, dude, you can do both. Like, it's not one room. I don't understand what's going on.
It might be. We've only been in one room of that museum.
I'm going to take Mason's side a little bit here, though, just because I do. There were so many things.
Powerful women is what.
No, not that. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. No, there were points where I was like, he is in. They do want to. It's a small museum. They do need to rotate some exhibits. I didn't. She didn't tell him. You know what I mean? Like, so I thought like her sort of insistency on like this needs to be this photo that has to be, or the painting that has to be.
Yeah.
I don't know. He was a jerky guy, but like I was on. I got his point of view, and she didn't help him anything by not keeping so many secrets and things like I don't know.
That's the thing. Like this lace exhibit that she was putting on was a snooze. Like
for the second year.
Yeah, it's like how many people are coming out for this, Broseph? And I'm going to talk about that when they open a lace store. In the second one.
Listen, I know
I can't wait to talk about that in the third one when they call it one of the premier art museums in the entire U.S. But that's my favorite line from the third.
You guys all want to hate on my friend Avery, so let's talk about this real fast. I meant to have pizza here tonight. I forgot to get it. I am going to say this: Hallmark was very non-inclusive for a long time, and they are much more inclusive.
By bringing pineapple pizza?
Hold on, we'll get to what I'm talking about is the stereotypical hate. And why do we always have to have something that we're railing against? And right now, it's the pineapple pizza. I love me some pineapple pizza.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't hate it, but I also would never order it. Because I have a weird thing with mixing like textures and sorts of flavors.
Okay. So you don't want pineapple and lace. I get that, but
I don't want that either. But like, I don't want my jelly bean to taste like popcorn. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's wrong. And
dude,
I don't want.
That's a Harry Potter staple. I'm sorry.
I really like pineapple pizza or like Hawaiian pizza style pizza. It just was another sort of random thing that became an important plot point. Again, you mentioned sort of like an improv scene where we spent some time on this, but it sort of popped up like kind of in the third act, you know what I mean, as like a thing. And whatever, it was fine. But there were just a lot of tropes of pregnancy that then came, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you have cravings, you have morning sickness, and these were like the jokey things that were causing the issues always. You know what I mean? I was like,
I didn't mind that. Like the coffee under. Who's ever done that? You sure you don't want any? You want
This goes back to Kristin's point, though, I think, where it's like if they embraced the fun and the silliness of like, oh my gosh, we're like, it's a home, like the money pit, right? It's a home and it's falling apart. And like, we're trying, I have a baby, but and it's awkward. And I'm trying to like find a moment to tell you, but it was so serious. I feel like the whole
it was
time.
all hurt, everything. Yeah. And I want, because I think we know that Lacey Chabert is brilliant and that she can do both. That she can be this, but then she can also be so silly. Yeah. And I want her to do that in these because she was in Haul Out the Holly. I thought she was fantastic in that. She was a little like, sillier in that than this.
I'm hoping the reception for Haul Out the Holly, because obviously this was filmed before that came out. I'm hoping the reception to that movie changes the attitude and maybe she does do more playful.
Probably. I hope so, because she's wonderful. And I was like, oh, they're making her character too, like, serious about this pregnancy. And even though, like, I get it. Pregnancy's serious. But, like, I mean,
what about there's another storyline that's running through this, which is where, because you feel like, well, it felt to me that Mason and
remember these?
But there you go. So you have Karen Kruper as Peter's mom, who, she rekindles with Clark, her old boyfriend, and they start seeing each other, and she's really enjoying it. And of course, Peter doesn't like this, which is really a bizarre thing for
that dinner scene.
Yeah, right.
His like death stare. Talk about the Wedding Veil murders. Like, I thought he was going to kill this dude. I loved it. But it was cute. It was cute. It was I think that's the thing of when I was getting the pictures for the H3O, I was like, wait, who was from this one? And I guess it's this guy.
That they end with their wedding. So Chris, the magic works. So once again, we got one.
Yeah. I'm not going to believe it unless it happens 6 times, everybody. So hopefully we'll see what happens in the next 2.
Hang in there. So, but of course, because they end up having the baby too, they bring to the baby's at the wedding. We see the baby, I think, in their crib, right? And they name the baby Daniel after Peter's father. Because
hey everybody, it's time. It's a dead dad alert.
Why do we celebrate it? It's so weird.
No, I guess I don't know. I feel like it's better than sort of
exactly. We know it's a plot point. We need them. We need dead people.
It's part of the bingo. Part of the bingo.
Everybody, I know. So I thought that was sweet because the name thing carries on through the series.
Right. Selfie number 1 or 4, depending on how long you're counting here. So,
look, this picture, it's cracking me up. I don't want.
It's okay.
I'll start to make everybody. I did not like this one. I feel bad because I actually thought the first go around with Lacey Chabert's character and the guy was way better, except for his accent, which got better in this one. So thumbs up to the more subtle Boston accent. I believed it way more. But it just was. It felt very tropey and very all women have to be pregnant and have babies, and you know what I mean. And
I really didn't care for the message that they were sending, because it just I could get on my soapbox about it. I probably will throughout the entire episode.
Yeah, we're not done. I definitely feel like this should not have been the first one. This story, in the second, not the first of. telling. So
because again, like every single time that the girls were together, it was like, well, I'm having a baby. You're gonna have a baby. You should have a baby. Are you gonna have a baby? And like Alison Sweeney's character, like literally said, no, that's not for me.
Yeah.
And they kept asking her, if my two best friends didn't hear me when I said I don't want children and they kept pushing it on me, they wouldn't be my best friends for long.
Listen, Mike and I hear you, Kristin. We hear you.
See, y'all don't ask me. Thank you.
Yeah. So that moves us on to the Wedding Veil Inspiration, which was on January 14th. I'll hit you with the plot and then we'll go through. So Emma's life plan is thrown off course when Paolo must return to Italy to take care of his ailing father. And she discovers a new passion for making art accessible to all. I added ailing. That wasn't in there. So this one stars Autumn Reeser. There she
Love.
is.
Love. The hats are back. I love them.
I want to talk about these. We'll get to that. Paulo.
Hello.
Hello.
Let's just call him Paulo.
Look at that.
And then, of course, the ladies, Lacey Chabert and Alison Sweeney, are back.
Girls,
And do we mention who else?
I'm not going to leave you hanging. There we go. Here they are.
Look at these cuties.
We think it's stunt doubles.
If it was just a movie of them kind of like meeting and hanging out, I think I would enjoy it more. You know, just
exactly. Can we get like a prequel of like when they all first became friends?
I need a prequel.
But we also have Carlo Marks from Christmas with the Darlings and Casey Roll from Arrow.
Yes, they are. So.
This one,
obsessed.
Yeah, I know. I think that's all we're going to talk about, and I think that's all we're.
This couple was amazing.
Yeah,
love them.
So real quickly, this was directed by a different director. So this was Terry Ingram, who directed the original 3 films, but none other in this series except for this. And he also directed 3 Wise Men and a Baby. So I guess I understand.
I'm more familiar.
I think these weren't shot, and we'll talk about that. As far as writing goes, this was a little bit different. Betsy Morris, who wrote A Kismet Christmas, wrote the teleplay for this. Obviously, these are still the characters from Judith Berg and Sandra Berg, sisters. And once again, based on the novel, There Goes the Bride by Lori Wilde.
There Goes the Bride.
There
so I'm going to start off by saying I didn't need Emma or Paolo in this movie at all.
So
I just needed all Mateo and Lily all the time.
Chris,
yes.
Mike, bring up that next picture, because this was a problem finding photos for this film of anybody except them. It feels like they were making a different movie and were like, we don't have a plot for a third movie. And they basically said to Mateo and Lily, come do this movie. We don't know what else to do. If you go to Hallmark and their photos, and you can scroll through all of their photos, the first photo that they have up is of Lily and Emma in profile. The next one of Emma, of Autumn Reeser, comes 8 photos later. It's her film, and she's not in it.
Wow.
It's really crazy. Lily is in 12 of the 15 photos they have up. Mateo's in 5 of the 15 photos. Emma is up in 6 of them, but only 2 by herself. So
wow, who knew we had stats here at Remark?
I'm big into sports.
The interesting thing, because I was wondering, like, we're going to shoot another one of these, and the lovely actor who plays Paolo, his name is Paolo as well. Yeah. They don't know any other Italian names, so they kept it. But maybe he wasn't as available because he was like not. He like left the movie essentially, right? But like, what I did love is the shenanigans that Lily and Mateo got to get up to sort of that was Mateo's sort of doing and her doing of like keeping their relationship connected while he was away. Yeah. But I feel bad that like Autumn Reeser and Paolo weren't in this as much as like the others were in theirs. And I do wonder what the scuttlebutt is on that.
You know, you and I have talked about this in the past, especially with Evergreen Christmas. And I think it's what killed the actual series, during COVID. And I wonder if there were COVID protocols, if there was something, to me, it feels like something interrupted production, not that there was something they knew going in. But like when Carlo Marks' name came up, I was like shocked.
You're like, wait a minute. Yeah. Because they didn't mention him until about 3 or 4 days before it aired that he was going to be in it on like the Hallmark Instagram. And I was like, what? Here we go, baby. Like, let's roll.
We did get a nice nose boop. I do want to, if you get a nose boop and I can find it, I'm always going to boop. Nose boop.
I do. They're cute. They're cute. I do like this couple. I think they have nice chemistry. But the people that have nice chemistry, Mateo and Lily.
There it is.
Also, so I watched the entire series of Hannibal, and of course I watched Supernatural, and this actress has been in those 2 series and always plays like a dark sort of this, or, essentially maybe like innocent, but really they're a murderer. In this, I thought she was a hoot and a holler. I laughed a few times out loud at some of the I don't know. Like there was one point where she was at her desk and she was like, do you want to do the photo shoot with me? And she's like, I do. She's like, well, we want to think about it again. I thought about it. Like, I just like, she delivered these.
And the paper when the spider is in there.
Yes, the paper, the whole bit. Like, I really like this actress and I hope they put her in more stuff. I really do.
As the lead. They really, she's very funny. She pulled great faces. She had an amazing storyline. So did Carlo Marks. Like, and one of the things I really, really dug about this, I was talking about this with my wife earlier. I love, he's very interested in her. She's interested in him, but she is petrified of the veil and it's like cursed. And she goes, she doesn't want anything. She had already touched it. Like it was too late.
They bumped into each other.
And it's like, it's the curse. The monkey's paw has already done its magic.
Like, what if you bumped into like a murderer? Like, would you still have to?
Yeah, you have to marry a murderer, and according to this, have a child with them. I don't make the rules.
I don't.
There's expectations, So and some inspiration.
The thing I really liked about when Carlo Marks was working through, like she would get cold all of a sudden and listen because she didn't know that what she wanted. And when he was talking to Emma about this, Autumn Reeser's character, he said, was she dating a guy or a woman in the past? And I just was like, how great that it's this. And I almost feel like that was Carlo. He just threw that in. He's like,
I think he was like, let's ask what type of person they like to date before I ask, can I date them? Yeah. Like, love Carlo Marks. Come on the show. Come on
the show, Carlo Marks.
That scary ass snowman. So
we need to ask him about it. He's like, he's one person away. He's our Kevin Bacon to the snowman.
Yes, it was definitive answers. So, spoiler alert: Mateo and Lily do get together.
Yeah.
We got one,
and they do get married, and that is the end of the film. Emma's journey of her 5-year plan and finding out, there was stuff there that I felt could have been better. And in the end, they even pulled the string out of that storyline. And I was just like, God, this just didn't do it for me. I was really kind of
no. It just was like, I thought it was weird that her boss was like basically making her figure. Like, I thought that whole thing was weird.
Chris, I know she took a class away from her, gave it to someone that they both admitted wasn't right to teach the class, which means there's like 15, 20 students somewhere. They got screwed because this one
exactly. Like, what is happening at this college? But anywho's, don't worry about it. Guess who's pregnant?
And that was also the tack at the end. It was like, by the way, I'm pregnant. I live in Italy now.
You guys want champagne? I'll have some sparkling cider.
They repeated that same bit in every, only alcohol. Only not drinking alcohol. I get it. Well, it is a funny, I will say, I think that is a funny thing, right? If you're a group of friends that always get together and have drinks like they did in the first one and blah, blah, that is the telltale signal. So I don't want to hate too much on that trope, but it, on top of everything else, you're just like, oh God. You hope one of them maybe,
Maybe they were also doing,
look how cute they look in the selfie.
No booze January.
Maybe they were doing dry January.
What'd you say, Kevin?
You're dry. That's it. Dry January.
No, when you're doing dry January, you don't go like no, can I just get a
No, you just a couple months before you go. Let me get pregnant. January's coming up.
Honestly.
All right, thoughts.
This one I'm not a thumbs down because it had enough things to be. I was okay with it, and I would probably say it's worth watching if for nothing else.
This one was my favorite. This was my favorite out of all.
Okay,
I think, and that's because of Mateo and Lily. If it was just their movie, I would have really loved it.
Yeah,
I thought it was interesting that you both mentioned, or Kevin specifically, that it was hard to find photos for this, and it felt like it was someone else's movie because I tried to watch all three. Remark fans watching out there, but I wanted to watch them in a row. They didn't play back to back leading into Journey on Sunday night. You couldn't get it like on demand or record. You couldn't record it. It was like not available to watch. And when you search Wedding Veil Trilogy, the first two popped up, and this one got super buried like in the search. I don't know if that was just like a weird fluke, but I had no way to watch it until it plays this weekend for like the second time. So I don't know what you're doing there, Hallmark.
Because I don't want to call you.
On Hulu.
Oh, okay. Because I don't want to call you a liar because it was. I watched the last 10 minutes of this one before Journey, so it was on. If you were streaming it live,
I
don't know what happened.
I think it's available on Peacock, Mike, but I might be wrong on that.
I looked in like a couple different apps, and it felt like it was the one that they were like, nope, this one's not available anymore. You should have watched it live.
Yeah,
you can't watch it pre-recorded until it comes live again, which is was just tomorrow. So
anyway.
It's one of the things that's very confusing about the technology of everything right now because of all the different locations. I hate my TV. If you ask it to play this movie specifically, it comes up for YouTube TV and it's like you can't watch it until tomorrow, like you're saying. But then I went into the Peacock app and it was there, and I was like, well, why wouldn't it have just been
it's very confusing. You have to a streaming service. Get it together.
Streaming services. That's not on Mateo and Lily. They're still sweet.
No, they're the best.
Yeah. So then we had the final film in this trilogy. Who knows about the next one? The Wedding Veil Journey. On the 21st.
I did appreciate that the subtitles were in alphabetical order. That helped me remember what order to watch them in. I went E-I-J. I don't know if that was intentional, but it helped me out.
Yeah.
Amazing.
This one, Tracy and Nick agree to set aside work to make time for a long overdue honeymoon to Greece and kidnap a kid. Nope, that doesn't say that. When they are stranded on a secluded island, they confront their life choices. Starring Alison Sweeney, who not too secretly is my favorite of the three.
Look at that, cutie patootie.
Victor Webster, who my mom knows I love a lot. Look at him in there.
Look at him. Look at the casual Victor Webster. Very casual.
Cut off the shorts, man.
I know. You know, the best part, I didn't cut off the shorts. You send me square images, and I have to make them work in a widescreen format. And and I am now upset realizing I should have shifted it up to get
just the legs.
Delicious.
Nice looking knees. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. And then, of course, the girls are back in town. We got the ladies shazing on their lounges.
Should they have been back in town? We should talk about that when we get to that plot point.
That's a big topic of debate for sure.
Yeah.
Also, if you go to, again, the Hallmark website, this particular movie has Mediterranean recipes on their website, assuming they are by Nick and not Xander. Ooh, that's a good one if you saw the movie. It's not. I don't know what happened. Then, once again, we have writers Karen Berger, who wrote the first one, Expectations. She also wrote this one. Judith Berg and Sandra Berg, sisters, of course.
Sisters?
Giving a lot of promo to White Christmas. Right now.
I'm still doing Christmas. Lori Wilde, novelist, of course, of There Goes the Bride. And this one was directed by Ron Oliver, who directed A Timeless Christmas and Christmas at the Plaza. What do they have in common, Kristin Finger?
British people.
They both star Ryan Pavey from...
I got 2 tickets to paradise.
Yeah, I thought you put this in here because they go on a trip so it kind of works.
Listen,
it kind of works
to work it in. I love it.
Yeah. I didn't realize it was an actual Ryan Pavey connection. Nice job, Kevin. I give you a point.
Good job,
points for that
Kevin.
one.
But
Points for
British
that one.
people also. So
Also British. Yeah.
Wow.
This one, this is no roses. Now we have notes, guys. We have little love notes left around.
That was and here's the thing, the Victor Webster on the Twitter said that that's their real handwriting, and they had to write like a ton of those to each other, which I thought was very sweet. Listen, I kind of live my life like that sometimes with my boo, because we both are so busy. And it's not that it's like, I actually liked having that little bit of representation of like, I don't wake up with a rose on my bed.
This movie's all about you. It's the very Kristin story.
It's a very Kristin story until
I thought, I agree with Kristin. Me and my wife work sort of not completely opposite hours, you know what I mean, but definitely don't overlap as well, you know. And I thought this was cute. I thought this was a very like sort of real life scenario. It was like went on for a while in the movie, you know what I mean? But yeah, I agree with you. I thought it was very realistic.
We used a whiteboard. That way we didn't destroy the environment. We also used Polaroids and wrote on those, so that does destroy the environment.
That's cute.
Cute.
So the other thing that I thought was fine that everyone else in the movie didn't think was fine was how long it took them to go on their honeymoon. Yeah. Sometimes a wedding costs a lot of money, folks, and then you have to save to go on your honeymoon.
That's great. Or buy a minivan.
Or buy a minivan.
And you have to cover that up by buying a minivan.
Well, and they didn't sacrifice their careers, either of them. Right. You know what I mean? Which I thought was really nice. Like they were willing to commit to each other. Say, you know what? You're going to work really hard to make these two successful restaurants. I'm going to work really hard to be this auction house manager or whatever the title is. Yeah, I agree.
So I had no problem with it. Also, my brother and his wife went on their honeymoon, I think 20 years after they got married, because it just like didn't happen. And then they had kids. And then, so it's like, why not?
I like how they decided. Like I thought that was fun and charming, but my wife pointed out a flaw in that, because I was like, "That's actually a cool idea. Spin the globe and point." She said, "Yeah, but there's like a 3 in 4 chance you're going to end up in the ocean."
That's correct.
That's true. And
they also posted that they had to spin it so many times because they had to actually get on something.
Land on grease. Not water. Yeah,
not water.
Yeah.
But again, here's my problem. Again, soapbox, excuse me.
Oh, man.
Is the idea of,
don't alienate our Grease fans.
When you find, no, it has nothing to do with.
Should I go back? All right, let's take Grease off the, there we go.
Grease off the table. When these movies are making, because I love them to be an escape, but I also don't need them to tell me what I'm supposed to do, because they keep telling female identifying folks that once we find a man, we have to immediately get married. Once we get married, we have to go on a honeymoon. Once we are done our honeymoon, a baby best be coming out of your vajayjay. Okay? And
that's
it's
what
like,
the honeymoon's for.
No, exactly. Yeah. And it's like, stop telling us the order in which we are supposed to do things, because then when we don't, we feel like we're wrong.
Well, sometimes a honeymoon, Kristin, is meant to go to a very weird failing hotel run by a brother and sister, where the brother might be Bruno from Encanto. I'm not sure, but
it's a Bruno. But we don't talk about Bruno.
We don't talk about Xander, who cannot cook. I'm not sure what Xander's doing, but Tessa is doing all the work.
Tessa's doing the work. Literally everything.
Absolutely. Yeah.
He carried the bags. He was like the porter too.
He didn't know. At one point he goes, "Oh, I gotta go," and he put the bags down and he left.
But what here's the thing. If these two picked me up, first of all, the donkey ride, that would have been fun. So don't. I was mad they were bitching about the donkeys.
Yeah. Well, and Alison Sweeney posted a lot of pictures of the donkey, so like clearly it was a blast.
But the thing is, these outfits that they're wearing say "Welcome to our cult," and I was scared the entire movie that something like a cult leader would come out. Like, look at these outfits.
We all grew up watching the Guyana incident, so you're right. I was very Jim Jones situation going.
It has to be something. I should have looked this up.
Sure.
It's got to be
I'm
like
sure
a
it's cultural, and
regional.
we're just
It might
figuring
be.
this out.
It might be. So I apologize, Greece. But when I see these, I think Ted Bundy. No, who's the
King Kong Bundy. King Kong Bundy. So then we have Lady Dalton and Colin show up, and they are going to be. I'm not sure. At first, I was nervous. I was like,
I thought they were dating.
Me too. I was like, okay. I mean, hey, look, I'm not. That's
To
cool.
each his own.
Yeah. This guy did strike me as like a British version stunt person for Andrew Walker, though, when he first came on.
I agree, but also gay. Like, I thought he was gay at first. I don't know. I think the actor might be. So, please let our gay flags fly. But like,
to each their own.
Just to each their own again. But yeah, so it's just this guy didn't do it for me. He didn't do it for me.
Well, I think stay tuned later when Chris gives her score.
He did do it though.
This might be a low
for Tessa. And
he did.
That was the point. So he helped her paint a railing. And that is a
That's
commitment.
love. Look at this.
I knew we had that photo. And the veil works its magic. They've already bumped into each other because there was the snafu of when Xander moves Nick and Tracy in the middle of the night to the honeymoon suite, which wasn't ready, and forgets to take the veil. When they get the veil back, Tess is holding it. She bumps into Colin. We don't have like a God wink. There should be, but nothing happens. And who notices that? Lady Dalton notices that. That's the lady from earlier. And
I have so many questions about Lady Dalton's.
That's a movie itself.
Backstory. Like, when do we get the Lady Dalton like origin story? Because I think she was a spy for the British Empire.
Oh yeah,
and I think she killed a lot of people.
I do too.
And she also was probably in like the Mission Impossible movies.
I pictured her as like a Bond helper, like MI4 or something like that. You know what I mean? I was like,
she picked that lock like that. It was just like,
what a funny like plot drop to just be like, And then I thought it was actually kind of like, I think it actually saved what I thought was my least favorite plot like device in this movie. Was the stupid moving back and forth. Yeah, that was so dumb. And it was clear there was only 6 people there. It was clear they didn't ask the mom. So I thought that was like a funny sort of like, oh, okay, she's a spy.
Yeah.
I guess at no point were you ever supposed to not know as the audience, because if you were supposed to not know,
it took too long. It just took a little long, like figuring that part out.
I did want it to be a ghost. Like at first I was like, oh my God, it really is powerful. But then I was like, oh wait, this is better.
So can we talk about Leo?
Yay, Leo or Leo.
No, there he is.
I have no problem with this child or
the
this child actor.
Chris, how about this picture of Leo for you and for my wife and probably lots of other people? There he is with the kitty.
You have no idea. When this scene started, I literally just went, kitty! Like I always just yell kitty when I see it. And I was so excited. I thought it was going to like be a little bit more part of it.
Julie,
it was in a couple other scenes, too.
Yeah.
Julie proclaimed that's my favorite part of the movie.
It's the best part. I was like,
that still is about how long it was on screen.
But they did have a sweet moment, Nick and Leo at that moment. So I did like that. But here's the thing. Again, I think I even said to Kevin before I watched this movie, if Emma has a baby or is pregnant at the end of this movie, I am going to blow up the world. Okay? And fool me once, fool me twice.
Hold on. You're not quite fooled yet. But Leo, by the way, happens to have no family whatsoever.
No!
This one.
It's a dead family alert.
No family. He's got an uncle. He does have an uncle.
But it's not really his uncle.
We don't know. It was really vague, and he doesn't remember things. So we remembered to talk about him, but that's about it. That's it. That's all we got. So
I liked, but here, when she like got off the island, she got on the island, and there's like this small boy there, and she looks at him. I was like, oh no.
No, what? I don't understand, Chris.
She immediately was like,
do you think that they're
children?
gonna kidnap this kid? Is that the plan? They're gonna.
It got like dropped or seeded, if we want to use a pun, a little too early. I think. Like I think she should have stuck to her guns, and it could have been like she was still like no, like, or it wasn't even. It should have been a non-issue. She was just helping this kid, and then I get it, right? We have to have the sort of bow tie ending. When you know it's like, oh, the school's in New York and you're in New York and he doesn't have a place to live, so blah blah blah. So maybe, and even then they could have still been like, maybe that's, I don't know, like some kind of fostership, but it just all, you know, it just all happened. So we're a family.
Oh, Ducky didn't like it either.
No, bring the cat back up. That's what she's angry about. But here he is. They're like, let's take this kid, and they do. So we got one.
We got one. Well, and the veil worked too. So we believe in veils, everybody. The veil also worked with Tessa and what's his dude? British Andrew Walker.
I will say that what we didn't talk about is the fact that her two best friends showed up on her honeymoon.
Yeah.
And then they show up again for the wedding of someone they don't even know, but
they don't know. Yeah,
they're following the veil. But yeah,
they feel like an annoying group of people.
The one best friend is only 2 hours away, and I feel like
that was fun.
Not. But like then all of a sudden when Lacey pops out, I was like, that is a long flight, man.
Yeah, that was. And I do like that Nick was like, well, they were in your life before I was. Yes. And again, it turned very much not from their honeymoon into like Project Save This or Steal This Kid.
The coolest of all the dudes.
Look at him. He's
cell.
Awesome. He's awesome. Victor Webster, come on the show.
Oh, anytime.
Victor.
Oh my God. Kevin's mom would go gaga.
No, it's me. She knows I'm a huge fan of him. And she's like, man, you really love him. But I do. I think the guy's great. So I do like when he threatened in the nicest way possible when the headmaster was like talking crap to Tracy, and he gets up and he goes over to him. That was the come here sort of thing. And he's like, don't you ever talk to my wife at that tone again. But it was like, that was it. And then he did turn around and kind of give her a smile like,
who's your boy?
Let's kidnap a kid. So this one, all that said, I did like it. This was my favorite of the three. And maybe it was because the whole time Julie and I were like, we should really go to Greece. Let's go to Greece.
It was definitely the most gorgeous of all three. Yeah. But I give it a medium. I'm giving it a medium. It would have gotten the full thumb if they didn't steal a child.
Yeah.
I give it I really weirdly enjoyed it as well. I kept like saying that out loud. I'm like, I think I like this one. It felt the most, and only having read the synopsis for this, you know what I mean, of the middle one, so I can't fully judge, but just reflecting back on the whole series, I don't know, it felt sort of like normal people in normal situations, and the only thing that was like pushed in there was the kid. You know what I mean? I think everything else felt like they're a real couple. They're both super charming. And just, I don't know. They were cute together, and we're going through some real life, like marital things. I think that played out well. And it looked great in Greece, obviously. But Lacey did not need to show up.
No, it was very silly.
Listen, she's an EP on these films. She's
showing up. True that.
Something I do think that's interesting that this series did that we'd never have really gotten is watching couples past the point of falling in love and getting married. We always see these films where the meet cute happens, they love each other for a week, and then they get married, and then we assume happily ever after, but we don't know, right? So like that is kind of cool to see this. They are my favorite couple because they're seemingly a real couple.
Yeah, and there's a lot of talk on Twitter, a push for the guys. How do we do this and make it focus more on the guys? And maybe they will do that because
I have so many ideas.
Contact Kristin because we like to talk about hot dudes.
Speaking of those guys, it's time for everybody's objectification.
Beautiful intro. You know what time it is? Hot dude time.
Hot dude time.
We're objectifying these three dudes that look great with gray beards.
Should we make them big? Should we make them big? Let's do it. Let's make them big.
Don't make me
Oh yeah.
Look, come on. They're all really lovely. I think I don't want to rate them separately, so I'm giving them all across the board an 8 because they all individually in each film were cute. And I like their outfits. I like their smiles, and they were nice to their partners.
Yeah. I needed Peter to be a little nicer to his mom, and he did come around. So if we go with the lump score, I can still do an 8 for all of them, but that was a closey. He started.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Victor Webster would have been much higher.
No, so Victor kind of brought everyone to that 8. I think the other 2 would have been at a 7.
Listen, Apollo, I think, is beautiful. I think that he's a good actor, but I can't tell. So I'm going to assume he is. However, again, when you're playing the name of your own name, I always feel like it's because you can't remember your character's name, so they just go,
what? Kevin, what's your score again? What did you say?
I'm going with an 8. I'll go with an 8.
Going with an 8 as well. All right. I agree wholeheartedly with all of you. I think having seen them now twice, they are sort of on the back burner, and so maybe we do get that series where they take the forefront there.
I hope so.
Yeah, I think look at all those smiles. They're all. I would hang out with these 3 guys and have a drink with them. We'll give it an 8.1, everybody.
Yeah,
really nice. That's solid.
Yeah, I want them to go away, and maybe this one goes along.
Mateo. Now we're on Carlo Marks. We've moved right on. Clark, apologies. We're not objectifying Clark.
No, we're not objectifying Sweet Clark. Sorry.
Yeah. But we moved right on to Carlo Marks from Inventions. That's not what it's called. Interpretations. It begins with Inspirations. That's it. Yeah. Am I first? Am I first on this?
Yeah, go ahead, buddy. I'm just busy looking at this.
I'll tell you. This is those pecs. That's Christmas with those darlings. If you know. Listen, I love Carlo Marks. The film he just did this past Christmas, we all loved him with his forest ranger outfit. He's a 9. That guy's an easy 9. Easy 9.
Easy. Michael, how about you?
Wow, wait, you're going 9. You're going 9 too, Chris.
I don't know yet. You go.
Oh, okay, got it. I did not see this film, so it's hard for me to objectify the character. So
You've seen it right here in this picture.
I know. I'll objectify the body. So not available for the film. But if he were to be the next Wolverine, I think I'd give him a 9. I think that's a Wolverine. I think that's a Wolverine look right there. Like he's got
those. Listen, I didn't. Here's the thing, Hallmark. When that's under there, let the boys do their thing.
Yeah, they're on the water. Let them swim.
Let them swim.
What did you anticipate? How would you do that in that storyline, Chris? It was raining.
This one?
Yeah.
Where were they? They were in New York? No, they were in Chicago.
The Vail store. They were in the Vail store in Chicago, Windy City. Yep.
I'm thinking, okay, he's gonna go. He gets back from the gym because look at him, and he's like, I gotta put my nice suit on.
Well, he's got this pizza, and he's
no, it's all over me. Wow.
See? Hallmark, higher Kristin.
9. I give him a 9. I love him. Look at his smile.
Yep. We're right. We're all on the same track here. Look at that 9, and if he plays Wolverine, 9. All right, last up.
Here we go.
There he is.
I don't even understand.
All right, is this him in the foreground? Hold on a second.
I don't get this.
I just want to remind the viewers at home that I'm in charge of making the H3 opening.
That's important, I think, actually, so they don't think it's just Kevin.
Think what you want. I don't care.
I feel so bad because I have no ill towards this sweet man, but when I barely could find any pictures of him, and then I literally just chanced shirtless, whatever his name is, and because he's in the Kingsman movies, I chose one with Taron Egerton shirtless instead.
Did you do that for Allie? You did that for our friend Allie.
That's for Allie.
That's 100% for Allie. Yeah. So, did I not write his name down anywhere?
I'm gonna give. I don't know what his name is. I forget. I love you.
Just wrote British. You wrote British Andrew Walker down.
Yeah. So for the British Andrew Walker, I thought he was very sweet. He didn't pull my attention enough.
Yeah.
in this particular film because I was busy with Victor Webster, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give him a 6.7. 6.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah.
6.9.
Yeah. Listen.
6.9.
Yeah. So I'm not a big fan of blonde dudes, apparently. I've realized. I asked that nobody ever go back and look at our scores for early Andrew Walker films when he was a little blonder than he is today. Now that he's getting the gray, and maybe I'm threatened by the blonde. I don't know. But I didn't mind this guy, but I definitely was like, yeah, Tessa could do better. And I was concerned because are they going to take care of Xander? Because he can't take care of himself.
He can't take care of himself. Well, because they're moving there. He's going to move there.
Yeah. I get okay. And assuming they're not kicking Xander out.
No, I think they're letting him stay if he takes a cooking class.
Oh, just stop cooking and start carrying bags. You know, your sister.
What's your number,
Kevin?
What's
your score, Kevin? What's your score?
I'm gonna go. I'm just a flat 6. Flat 6.
Flat 6. Flat 6. Kristin, I typed in my answer before you said it. We're both in line. 6.9. 6.9 for Edgerton.
That 0.9 is coming from his British accent, just so you know.
I think so. I liked his like array of polo shirts. For
yes.
He just kept having the same exact cut, just slightly different.
Just a different.
Right. Everybody, I have a surprise bonus review for you, Kevin and Kristin. We are going to objectify Leo. Everybody, no,
I don't ever. I have to go.
No. He's super. I thought I want to say this. I know you didn't like the storyline, but I thought this kid actor was like
great.
So good,
phenomenal.
So good. Also, 100%, he's like has to be Luca, right? I mean, come on, look at this. Like that's Luca right there.
This film was definitely they had like Disney playing in the background or something. They're like, let's take Bruno, we'll make him the brother. Luca, we'll make him the definitely.
Yeah.
No, he's if there's more Grease films, put him in them as a child. He was great.
Right. That's it.
I mean, those are some hot dudes.
Hot dudes. So, all right, everybody. It's the final wrap up here. We have 4 minutes. Let's do it.
4 minutes.
Overall, I think that, like I said, I think the order of the films was not well placed, how they did them. But I still think you could have done expectations first if, like Chris said and Mike said, if you had let Lacey be Lacey, let her have fun, make it a little later than it was.
Yeah.
I think it would have worked better if they I know they wanted the Grease to be their tentpole movie and they put that at the end, but if they had put that one second and then the third one is Emma, and if it had been Autumn Reeser's character that never wanted kids and they just held true to that truth, because then you would have had a baby that Lacey, bores, you have a baby that Tracy and Nick adopt, and then you have a man and a woman who they want other things, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yes. I overall love these women. I love the dudes that are in it. But I do have, I just personally have trouble with the theme and the tropes of what we're supposed to do in society. So that's the liberal in me, but also just the woman that I don't feel I need to be. So yeah, I don't think I'll watch them again, but I didn't hate while I was watching. You know what I mean? Like there was lovely moments of all of them. I just didn't like the through line of like now babies.
Yeah. Would you watch a third trilogy?
Yeah, absolutely.
I would too. So
absolutely, I'll watch anything that these folks do. I love them.
Yeah, I think it needs to be maybe like from the guy's perspective, or if like flash forward and it's their kids or something. I don't know. I don't know if I could just watch the same like a year later type of storyline.
It needs to be different.
There wouldn't be the veil.
Or prequel. I think that could be fun.
Because they found that gold necklace at the end, and people are speculating as to though is that a new mystery that they have to figure out now.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think my biggest thing is like they just like I just want them to have more fun with these. Like we don't need we've already seen a billion Hallmark movies. These are 3 of our favorite actors. You know what I mean? Like they're great together when they're together on screen.
Yeah.
So like let them have more silly
leave them together.
Antics, you know what I mean?
Open the line and step back. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, fine. Sell a wine. Yeah, do a wine pairing. Why not? Like Hallmark. I remember this moment when you guys said it before, and I think at the end of each one, they had the weird confessional with the
Yeah.
couples, and I
The
thought it
Harry Met
didn't
Sally,
work
yeah.
at all. It was like because it was very straight faced and like there was in character, but then they were kind of breaking a little bit. But I don't know. Like maybe that's it. Like maybe like embrace more of the like silliness and make that make that fun or something, or don't do it. So yeah, I want more fun.
I
With
want
these
more
types of
fun.
things.
Absolutely.
Especially if we're going to cross it over.
Would you like more mysteries? Because what we have coming up next is Serious Caterer Grilling Season. There it is. Nick Roche and our good friend Andrew Walker. So check that out Sunday. That's a Sunday movie, so it's on the Movies and Mystery Channel. Sunday, February 5th.
At 7.
You think
I did it 100%. I'm certain of it. This dude did it. That's why
that guy.
Yeah, he's the killer.
I
don't need to know anything else. I'm telling you right now. Listen, you can follow us or you can write to us if you're like, you guys are crazy. You got it all wrong. You can tell us that. Email us at remarktheshow@gmail.com, and you can follow us at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Remark the Show. We would appreciate it.
Please do. Y'all are great. You can even email us and say, Kristin, have babies. And then I'll email you back into my mind.
Kristin doesn't email, so
please don't email Kristin, have babies.
I read the email. So if you email that, I'm going to be like, what the hell am I supposed to do?
Oh, it looks like we're out of time. Play those credits.
It's been a long, exhausting day. Your troubles just won't go away. One thing that gets you through these is watching cheesy holiday movies. You think that you're above them, but you know that you love them. So get ready to listen. Now here comes Kevin and Kristin. Oh yeah.
49ers.
Chabert!
We're coming for
49ers.
Coming for you.
49ers.